Welcome in to episode number 6 of the Michael Ryder Show. Today, we got a lot of sports fallout from this past week of college football conferences saying they're not playing, individual schools saying they're not playing. And we got, tons of sports right now. If you're a sports fan, this is the time, regardless of everything that's kind of going on right now with, not being fans in the stadiums and bubbles and everything like that. Besides that, it's a great time to be a sports fan. So where should I start at? I think I read an article on the Washington Post. It stated, I think it was yesterday, they had 54 of 130 FBS teams not suiting up this fall to play football. And that, I expect that number to maybe go up a little bit, but the conference-wise, I think that, and I'm really, and I will touch on this too, and I'm really glad that, these other conferences did not jump the gun right at the get-go when they totally could have. If the Big Ten, the Pac-12, they canceled as they did, the other conferences could have easily have canceled, and I'm glad they didn't. And it just shows you the different information that is out there that some of these conferences are getting compared to some of the others. It may be, I don't even know what information they're getting. Some on the other side maybe getting different information. But I'm glad. The conferences that are so far have not postponed. Of course, you got the SEC, you got the Big Ten, you got the Big 12, the ACC, Conference USA, the American Athletic Conference, and Sun Belt. Those conferences so far are going to play. Now, as of those, I don't see any of them canceling unless things get so crazy out there that they have to. But I don't see individual conferences canceling. If that number 54 grows, I think it will be individual schools, say like an Old Dominion in the Conference USA that is not playing. I could see that. I see an individual school, but I think these conferences are, they're in a good spot. They're saying, screw it, we're playing. And I commend that. I'm glad. Then you got of course, the Big Ten and the Pac-12, and you got a couple other small ones like the Big Sky, Western Athletic, the West Coast. They're postponing, a lot of these are postponing all sports. And even the NCAA president came out the other day, or I think it was yesterday, and stated that no fall championships are being played this fall, besides football. Football is the only one, due to it being under the college football playoff, completely different umbrella for that. So, and I, to the actual fan side of it, because a lot of these conferences are talking about playing in the spring, which as a football fan in general, I'm all for it. I love more football, the better. But will it work? That's remaining to be seen. The idea is good, but it is kind of a bummer to not have all these schools suiting up, and I wish that was possible. But some of these schools, they're doing it for their best interest and what they think is best for the student athlete. And I can't condemn them for that. And a lot of these players are wanting to play. And what you really feel bad for is one. Most importantly, you feel bad for the athlete itself. Like look at Joe Burrow, for example, last year. Coming into the season, he would have been between a 5th and a 7th round projected overall pick. He comes out this year. If there had been no 2019 season, Joe Burrow is not the 1 overall pick. That's correct. And to think of that, there is going to be another athlete. Every year, there's always an athlete that comes around and has a stellar season. Just improves to the point of, hey, and it raises their draft stock. You're not going to have that this year. Now, you may have a player in one of these other schools that might, but, that may not happen. And how will spring football affect, the NFL in the coming season? And if you really expect, from a player safety standpoint, everyone that preaches player safety, and you want a college athlete to play almost probably around 20 games in a calendar year, and you're screaming player safety, I think Reese Davis hit the nail on the head with that on ESPN the other day. I think that's a crazy idea. If you're looking at a player safety standpoint, but you want them to go out and play in the spring and then come back and play in the fall. As a fan, I love it. I don't want player injuries, but as playing a game, watching the game is more football. But at the end of the day, if you're looking at player safety standpoints, I don't see that. And that's yeah, you got spring practice, stuff like that. So I mean, they're still doing it a little bit, but playing games, I just don't see it happening. Hey, as a fan, I want it to happen, but the realistic side of me is saying that it's not. But from last week to now, I am actually in a really good spot. I really do think that these conferences that are playing, I think they can go forward with it. Like I said, it will look different. We'll have less fans, if at all. How's the tailgating going to look? Is universities going to put restrictions on who else, like how many people can tailgate? Say like the Grove down Ole Miss. How is that going to look? Some of these awesome tailgating spots, that's also going to be affected. The taxes that these cities receive. Take like Morgantown for example. It's got about 30,000 people on just without counting the university. You add 30,000, just about 30,000 students. That's 60,000. All right, so you're going to have that still a little bit. Then game days, you got another probably 50 to 70,000 people, if not more, go to those games. And not just go to the games, but tailgate, spend money, go to bars. It's going to be the bars. It's going to be the cities that are also going to take a hit from this. Especially if you're only having limited, so you're still getting some money, but you're not getting it fully what you're used to. And that's going to be a problem around the country, even teams that are not playing. And to the point of spring football, we're talking these teams that are not playing in say in the Big Ten, Pac-12 in certain areas, not LA of course or Arizona. But what's the weather? The weather, unless you make a deal with some of these areas, like the Big Ten that has Indianapolis has a dome, Minnesota's got a dome. What do you? Because look at Columbus for example. Columbus has their average temperature in the month of November compared to January, February drops 12 degrees from November to January. Precipitation, bigger chance. So that's something they're going to have to look at. And Michigan's probably worse. And that's just going off Columbus. So you're going to have a lot of bad weather games, but hey, it's football. I understand that. It's part of the game. But there's just a couple of different logistic factors they're going to have to work out, like how, certain players are not going to play. If you're guaranteed, if you're told, hey, I'm a first round pick, do you really think you're going to suit up and play and, for a couple games and take that risk? I don't know. We'll see. But that's a lot to take in. I even know, schools like Nebraska were even there for a little bit. We're saying, hey, we're going to look around. I think Ohio State was the same thing. The Big Ten took offense to what Nebraska did. Saying, but Nebraska came out and said we're fully committed to the Big Ten. I highly doubt that. Now, I heard people were saying, oh, man, what if Nebraska wants to leave, go back to the Big 12? I've seen people say, oh, Nebraska ain't, we don't want it back, this and that. I'm like, huh? Like, I would, if that would ever happen, the Big 12 would have to. I understand Nebraska the last so many years has been not what they were, but it's a big name. It's a big name, but that's not going to happen. They're staying in the Big Ten, more money, more this, more that. But, that's the way we are looking at. And to those people that are saying, oh, college football is never going to go back to the same or back to normal or any of sports, it will. This is just a small speed bump in what we have to deal with in this day and age, with what we got going on today, but it will pass, as I've stated. We're, yes, as a fan, this sucks, but this is what we have, and this is what we have to do. I'm going to miss going up to games, this fall, and, tailgating, that's one of the best parts about college football. or just sitting in front of the TV and just doing this and that, and but that's what we have to deal with in this day and age. It will get better. We just got to stick with each other, and this thing will pass. Just take some time, but stay strong. Stay, stay loving each other. That's what we got to do. But other than that, I do want to also remind you that this podcast is now going to be on YouTube and Spotify. And I do want to thank tremendously everyone that has shown me support over the last couple of months. It's been a lot of fun, and I continue to do this, and I cannot wait to keep coming back with more content. And please continue to share, like, and subscribe to my pages. I'll be back to you next week with I don't know what is going to happen in this coming week. It's hard to say, but just one foot in front of the other people. We will make it out of this, and college football will be back to normal one day. Not this year, but hopefully in 2021 we'll be back to normal and everything. I really look forward to coming back to you guys next week. But other than that, have a great week coming up, and have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Peace.